Risk, according to Webster, is the chance of injury, damage, loss, the failure of your expectation.
The biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks.
Almost any accomplishment in the history of the world has come at the hands of people who've taken risks. People who are willing to push the envelope. People who are willing to explore the unknown.
Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
The overthinking can be an excuse for actual fear. And same thing with like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. That's also fear. It's fear of not being perfect. And then on top of that, low confidence. Well, if you have low confidence, guess what? You're afraid. Your confidence is low. You're not sure of yourself, so you sit around and think about doing it instead of actually doing it. And then anxiety. Well, yeah, anxiety actually is fear. You're afraid to do something. And then IQ. Now that might be, I guess, maybe someone has a high IQ and therefore they're thinking a lot. And maybe that's not fear. But let me ask you a question. If you're so smart, then why aren't you taking action and making something happen? So you get a big IQ, that's no excuse to sit around and overthink things.
The greatest risk they take is not taking one. And I use it to this day. Anytime I feel that, I feel nervous, like I feel right now, I take the risk.
Whatever it is that you want to do, there's going to be risk in your life. And risk is a necessary component of progress.
If you're so smart, why can't you come up with a quick solution? Why can't you realize that overthinking is actually causing the problem harm? It's not moving the problem forward. So, quit thinking so much and take action.
The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure.
Right. I mean, a lot of people, I think that, whenever it comes to, whenever you get yourself into a position where you have to make some big shift in direction or do something, there are always people who are going to point to the downside risks of that decision. And locally, they're maybe right? I mean, for any given decision that you're going to make, there's upside and downside. If you are stagnant and you don't make those changes, then I think you're guaranteed to fail, right? And not catch up. So to some degree, I think it's really right that over time, the biggest risk that you can take is to not take any risks.
Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive.
As a business grows, the natural tendency would be to take fewer risks and to be cautious and to have contingency plans. But in a business that's changing very quickly or one that you want to grow, you actually need to be explicit about accepting risk. One of the people who work with me kind of describes it this way. I was sort of encouraging this person, hey, let's try this. Why don't we do this? How about this? And at some point he kind of came back and said, so what you're telling me is you want me to try to do 10 things, and if I only get 8 of them, you'll be okay with that. If I don't get all 10, versus having 5 things and doing all 5 perfectly. That's exactly right. We want to accept some experiments.
People told me that Black Swan was an artistic risk, a scary challenge to try to portray a professional ballet dancer. But it didn't feel like courage or daring that drew me to it. I was so oblivious to my own limits that I did things I was woefully unprepared to do. And so the very inexperience that in college had made me feel insecure and made me want to play by others' rules now was making me actually take risks I didn't even realize were risks. When Darren asked me if I could do ballet, I told him that I was basically a ballerina, which, by the way, I wholeheartedly believed.
I think that you have to take risks all the time. If you don't do that, you don't move forward. We are trying to be too conservative in the way that you think life. And the result is that nobody voices out to say, I don't agree with this, I agree with that. So we have to push somehow our individuality to make sure that our voice can be heard.
When it quickly became clear in preparing for the film that I was maybe 15 years away from being a ballerina, it made me work a million times harder. And of course, the magic of cinema and body doubles helped the final effect. But the point is, if I had known my own limitations, I never would have taken the risk. And the risk led to one of my greatest artistic and personal experiences, in that I not only felt completely free, I also met my husband during filming.
I think risk is important for every company. I think it is the essence of entrepreneurship, whether you're the smallest company in the world or, like Google, the second largest company in the world, to take smart risks all the time. I run this experiment frequently with groups where I give them 2 choices, choice A and choice B. So choice A is you get to deliver $1 million of bottom line value to your company this year, guaranteed. Choice B, you get to deliver $1 billion of bottom line value to your company this year, but only with 1 chance in 100. So everyone does the mental math. I say, who wants choice A? Nobody raises their hand. Who wants choice B? Everybody raises their hand. It's got an expected utility that's 10 times higher than choice A. And then I say, who here believes that your boss wants you to choose choice B? And not a single person in the room raises their hand. I mean, these typically are large multinationals who want to be innovative. And then I say, you don't need a lecture on innovation, you need a new boss. You need a new context. I really think that it's the context that matters. We all inherently understand that taking smart risks is the right thing to do. Now, what counts as smart and what counts as a risk is different in different parts of a company or companies of different sizes.
Now is the time to take risk. So I would encourage you to take risks now, to do something bold. You won't regret it.
Make your move before you're ready. We're instructed in life to walk by faith and not by sight. See, you want to really begin to stretch yourself. You want to become a risk taker. You want to raise the bar on yourself. Most people won't do that. See, most people engage in low life living, low risk living. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I like what Helen Keller said, life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. You want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself and make it okay to fail and learn from your failures. Don't allow fear of failure and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here.